In this episode of Overcoming the Dragon, we're going to be discussing the CIA colluding against the United States government. Stay tuned.
If you have found Overcoming the Dragon ministry to be a source of strength and help to your spiritual walk in these trying times, why not show your support today? Just $1 a month from each of our listeners will help with operating costs and keep us on the air. The Prince of Darkness is bringing his full wrath in these last days, and Overcoming the Dragon ministry stands ready to defend the gospel and overcome his lies with the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. Brother Skinner relentlessly marches forward through enemy lines, tearing down Satan's strongholds and setting the captives free. Your investment in this ministry, large or small, will be rewarded in this life and the life to come. God bless you.
Well, the CIA accusing Donald Trump of working with Russia, or that Russia had hacked the election, is just the tip of the iceberg. The Central Intelligence Agency, or community, is the most corrupt organization on the planet. The most corrupt. In fact, they work for the elite. They actually were put in place by the elites. And they've been working for the elites. And it's all about profit. And so the Central Intelligence Agency, which is known as a government agency, which really isn't, it's really not, but somehow it became a government agency, that with the Pentagon, it basically is run by the dictates of what they consider to be God. And who they consider to be God is the elites, like Rockefeller and Rothschild and Kissinger, and just to name a few. Dick Cheney is one of them as well. In fact, I'll tell you right now, Dick Cheney was the one that was responsible for the Twin Towers coming down. And he made sure that Bush Jr. was in Florida doing something else on that day. I don't think to this day, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think to this day George Bush Jr. understands altogether. Maybe he does. Maybe he just did his job or just did his part, but that's not my message, so I don't want to get off topic. But Dick Cheney, he was the one that really ran the show on that day when the Twin Towers were attacked. He was running everything. And today is no different. All the false flags, everything that goes on in the United States and abroad is to further the end of the elites' war on you. That's right. A war on you. There's not even a Hollywood movie that can be brought to the public except it goes through the CIA. Did you know that? Everything has to be verified, has to go through the CIA, especially war movies. Anything to do with the war. But it's very strict. The propaganda that you and I are fed, it's very strict, and how it they make it very palatable where we will receive it, and they turn it into a form of entertainment. But make no mistake about it, it's propaganda. From the Hollywood movies to even the commercials on television. Every bit of it's propaganda. Most of your commercials today are nothing but pharmaceutical drugs, which is also part of the CIA in the sense that going back to who they get their orders from, which is God, not G-O-D, capital G, like God, as we know God, right? But God as in gold, oil, and drugs. That's the three means by which the elite run the world. Gold, oil, and drugs. So whenever you hear someone referring to the CIA getting their orders from God, that's a code word for the elite. They're known as God because they control the gold, the oil, and the drugs. All the drug smuggling that goes on in the United States, all the drugs that are smuggled into this country is done through the CIA. That's what Kennedy was talking about when he said guerrillas by day and guerrillas by night. If you go back and listen to John Kennedy's speech, it's all summed up right there. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's become more dangerous than it was probably back then, if that's possible. But it is a tightly knit, monolithic organization that is global. And it's the intelligence community. It's CIA operatives, agents that are used to carry out espionage for the corporations, for the corporate level, which is, quote unquote, that's democracy, people. So the democracy is about the CIA making money for the elites. That's what democracy is. That's what the elections is all about in the United States. They're saying now that Donald Trump was actually accidental. In fact, Donald Trump himself didn't think he was going to get elected. I remember hearing Donald Trump saying way back when he first was running that he didn't think he had a chance. In his own words. So what changed so quickly? Why did Hillary Clinton implode so quickly? I'll tell you why. The elites changed their mind. And they saw, in the scheme of things, they saw Donald Trump was more useful to them because the way they were looking at it is, we can get rid of Donald Trump and then we've got Pence. And Pence will play ball. That's right, people. Now, either they're going to force Donald Trump to quit, to leave the White House, or they're going to have him killed, just like John F. Kennedy. And from my understanding, Donald Trump's already been offered a lot of money. More money than he could have ever made in his company, and that's why he was willing to walk away from his company. Billions of dollars he was offered. And so, you know, Donald Trump was, in a sense, was a decoy that they used to get what they want. And I've been saying it all along that Mike Pence, is really who they're after. They can coerce him. They could use him. But Donald Trump, they can't coerce. They can't get him to work with them because Donald Trump is a one-man show. It's his way or no way. And they can't work with that. The CIA colluding right now against Donald Trump and against the United States government. And that's not going to stop. That's going to continue. There's going to be continual inside deception where they're not going to tell Donald Trump the truth. His intelligence is not going to be good. His intelligence is going to be tainted. His intelligence is going to be misdirected. He's not going to be given good intelligence. And this is how they're going to bring Donald Trump down. Is they're going to constantly feed him wrong information and even information that is, makes Donald Trump look like he can't do his job. This is a conspiracy. But remember, the CIA is not run by the government. Remember that. The Pentagon is not run by the government. You see, Donald Trump needs to trust his Secretary of Defense, and he needs to see these people that he's chosen in his cabinet, these people that he's chosen at the executive level, all these people he's chosen, he has to be able to trust them. In other words, they're his ears, his eyes, and if he's not getting correct intelligence, what's he going to do? So if he's got a central intelligence, or I should say, if he's got intelligence that's coming to him that's not credible, that's not good information, that's not right information, then that's going to bring tremendous confusion. Recently, he was told that waterboarding works when waterboarding doesn't work. Why did they tell Donald Trump that waterboarding works? So that he would say that he agrees with it. Because Donald Trump's a proud man, and he doesn't know for himself that waterboarding works. That's why this was a big topic between him and Hannity. Like two schoolboys talking about waterboarding like it was some kind of a, game or something. Like it was some kind of an initiation you do on, to get someone to join your club in the boys' club. But waterboarding doesn't work. It's proven it does not work. And so those in the CIA told him it does work. So Donald Trump leaves the meeting and he says, okay, then I believe it works. Because I was told it works. And that's exactly what he said to Hannity. But he's being fed wrong information. So that he doesn't have a leg to stand on with those that know better. They're literally trying to sabotage his administration. So it's not the United States government that's running this country, or the world for that matter. It's the CIA. It's that big pyramid, that huge pyramid called the Pentagon. Bunch of Luciferians, Satanists, that are working with the elites. I don't even like calling them elites. You know what? Why do we give them that clout? They're scum, right? They're the scum of the earth. They have no value for you and I. They have no value for human life. They're scum. In fact, they are the ones that developed the internet. They gave us the internet. Why? Well, what would it have been like if they would have considered it instead of internet, what if they would have called it enternet? Enter the net. What if they would have called it the trap? What if they would have just come out and called it like it's being called today? The net. You ever thought about that? It is a trap. And it was meant to be a trap. And to them, you're just like a mouse. That's what you are. You're just like, in fact, you're less than a mouse. In their eyes, you're like a bug. And they created what was called a web. And they're the spiders. Listen to this. Listen to this, people. I never knew this before, but I was looking up the founding of the CIA. Listen to this. The motto of the United Nations, of the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. The motto. The work of a nation. The center of intelligence. Listen to this. The unofficial motto of the CIA. You ready for this? And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. The founders of the CIA, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Allen Dulles, Harry Truman, or S. Truman, and William J. Donovan. The unofficial motto of the CIA, isn't that interesting? You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Now, this war that's going on right now, the CIA against Donald Trump and against the White House, that's going to continue. It's going to continue, people. There's going to continue to be internal turmoil in our government. And Donald Trump is not going to be given proper intelligence. It's a total mess. The president depends on those that advise him. He depends on the intelligence community. What if he can't? What if he can't depend on the Central Intelligence Agency? Have you guys given that some thought? What if every bit of information that he's fed is bogus? He has no way of knowing. I mean, they could say to him, the Secret Service could say to him, anything they want to say. Do you just see how much Donald Trump has put himself into the hands of those to protect him that he doesn't even know if that they have his best interest? Because remember, it's not just the Democrats that hate Donald Trump, it's the Republicans. They all hate him. So who can Donald Trump trust in the White House? It's almost like, he's reaping what he's sown all his life. He's sown corruption. He's a dishonest person. And now he's just reaping everything he's sown. It's not good when you have a president, in your country, if you have a president that is reaping, bad things, because that's going to come upon the country too. Do you really believe that the CIA is on Donald Trump's side? Do you really think that the CIA is on our side? It's quite sobering, isn't it, to think about it? You know, we're more and more moving towards this area of just total confusion, which is what Babylon means. Total confusion. Can you imagine? I can't even imagine that. Being in that position that Donald Trump is in and thinking that those that are giving him intelligence are giving him the truth when they're all lying to one another. CIA lies to the government lies to the CIA, or I should say the White House. Just lies, deception. They're not on the same page. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, people. But when you have a government that is so disorganized, so confused, so divided, what does that say for the country? I mean, as the government goes, so goes the country. Right? I just, wow. It just makes you speechless. It really does. Takes you to the level of where you just become speechless.
If you have found Overcoming the Dragon ministry to be a source of strength and help to your spiritual walk in these trying times, why not show your support today? Just $1 a month from each of our listeners will help with operating costs and keep us on the air. The Prince of Darkness is bringing his full wrath in these last days, and Overcoming the Dragon ministry stands ready to defend the gospel and overcome his lies with the sword of the Spirit, which is the Word of God. Brother Skinner relentlessly marches forward through enemy lines, tearing down Satan's strongholds and setting the captives free. Your investment in this ministry, large or small, will be rewarded in this life and the life to come. God bless you.